In a town most maps forgot to name, there lived a watchmaker who never looked at the clock. His shop sat at the edge of a narrow stone street, wedged between a closed bakery and a wall covered in ivy. The window was always clean. Inside, dozens of watches ticked softly, each one slightly out of rhythm with the others, like breathing that never quite synchronized. People noticed that the watches he repaired worked perfectly. They noticed his calm hands. They noticed his quiet voice, but they also noticed something strange. No clock hung on his wall, and no matter how busy the town became, the watchmaker never seemed rushed. One afternoon, a young man arrived. He had walked for days. His shoes were dusty, his shoulders tight, his eyes restless. He stood in front of the shop for a long moment before entering, as if unsure whether this was the place he was meant to find. A small bell rang. The watchmaker looked up. "Your watch is broken," the young man said, placing it on the counter. "It keeps stopping." The watchmaker picked it up, turned it gently in his hands, and smiled. "No," he said softly. "It keeps telling you the truth." The young man frowned. "I don't understand." The watchmaker nodded. "Most people don't. Sit." As the watchmaker worked, the young man spoke. He spoke about feeling late to his own life, about waking up tired before the day began, about watching others move ahead while he felt stuck in place. "I feel like time is chasing me," he said. "Every day I fall behind." The watchmaker listened without interrupting. His hands moved steadily, calmly, as if they had all the time in the world. Finally, the young man asked the question that had been pressing on his chest. "How do you stay so calm? You fix time for a living, yet you never look at it." The watchmaker paused. Then he opened a small drawer and placed the repaired watch back on the counter. "Walk with me," he said. They stepped outside. The afternoon sun was warm. The street was quiet. The watchmaker led the young man to a small hill just beyond the town. From there, they could see rooftops, trees, and people moving like small figures below. "Tell me," the watchmaker said, "what do you see?" "A town," the young man replied. "People going about their lives." "And what do you feel?" The young man hesitated. "Pressure," he admitted, "like I should be somewhere else." The watchmaker nodded. "That feeling," he said, "comes from measuring life instead of living it." He reached into his pocket and pulled out a small hourglass. The sand inside was already halfway down. "This," he said, "is how most people live. Always watching the sand fall, always afraid of what's running out." He turned the hourglass over. "But I learned something long ago," he continued. "Time doesn't punish you for moving slowly. It only punishes you for moving without direction." The young man looked at the hourglass, then back at the town. "So what should I do?" he asked. The watchmaker smiled again. "Stop asking how much time you have," he said, "and start asking what you're building with it." They returned to the shop. Before the young man left, the watchmaker handed him the repaired watch. "It will stop again," he said. The young man's eyes widened. "Then what was the point of fixing it?" The watchmaker placed a hand on the counter. "So you'll notice when it does." The young man stayed in the town for a while. He helped at the bakery when it reopened. He swept the shop floors in the mornings. He learned to sit still in the evenings, listening to the watches tick. Days passed, then weeks. One morning, the young man realized something strange. He no longer felt chased. He still worked. He still woke early. But the weight was gone. When he checked his watch and saw it had stopped again, he didn't panic. He smiled. On the day he decided to leave, the watchmaker walked him to the edge of town. "Will I see you again?" the young man asked. The watchmaker shook his head gently. "No," he said, "but you'll recognize me." "How?" "When you stop rushing moments that were never meant to run." Years later, people would ask the young man why he never seemed in a hurry, why he moved with purpose but without tension, why he always arrived exactly when he was needed. He never mentioned the town. He never mentioned the shop. He only said this: "I learned that time doesn't need to be beaten. It needs to be respected." And somewhere, in a quiet street covered in ivy, watches continued to tick, each one keeping time, while the man who fixed them lived beyond it.